Well, here we are, New Zealand Open with one of the locals, Ryan Fox, and mate, it's always great to be back in Queenstown, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad part of the world, I have to say.
Now, you travelled a bit of the world now too, hey? So tell us where this rates with places to visit.
Oh, easily top 5.
Yeah,
Probably higher than that, to top 3. I think the only place I would say visiting as a golfer would be better is potentially Scotland or Ireland, but then you've got to battle some weather over there.
Yes. And we're standing here in t-shirts and it's not too bad, right?
Barely, it's maybe it's almost jumper weather. But
certainly for me, coming from Queensland yesterday, it was like, got out of the plane, I was like, oh my gosh, this is cold here, but it's not too bad today. So, mate, we've known each other for a few years now, and I've watched your rise in elevation within the sport, which is exciting to watch, and exciting to see the results you're having as my golf game is going the other way a little bit and moving and transitioning out of playing into my coaching role now, which is exciting for me. But tell us a little bit about that rise for you, and maybe could you put down a couple of key things? Has it been an introduction of different coaching, working harder, working smarter? Is there anything you can put your hand on that's helped you get to European Tour level where you're at the moment?
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit of everything. I guess changing coach was a big thing.
Yep.
I did move to Marcus Wheelhouse probably 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yep.
I think that year I moved up about 500 places in the world rankings.
Yeah, right.
And have progressed every year from there. Which that's a big thing. It's just work. And it's nice having someone. For those of you who don't know who Marcus is, he played on tour for several years. I think had 12 years as a touring pro, so it's certainly nice to have someone that understands the game from a playing perspective as well, which I think is a big thing for me, because technique is not a massive part of my practice. It is a part of it, but I enjoy playing the game a lot more than I enjoy practicing, so having someone that understands the playing part has been big. And I guess the other thing, just doing the work. It does sound
cliched.
Very cliched, but you've got to spend the time doing the work, and it's not necessarily about amount or time spent, it's about quality of work.
Yes.
And probably learned to understand that a little bit over the last few years. My practice has been sometimes a bit crap, but you feel like you do it for a long time, you get something out of it, whereas you're better doing it a shorter practice session, but actually getting something out of it.
Yeah, and I think something you touched on there with Marcus, and the fact that you don't necessarily like working for hours and hours on technique, but we love playing the game, and that's what it is. It's a game that we have to actually move the ball from the tee to the green and get it in the hole. So would you say that a part of your work with Marcus has been him helping you understand you as a golfer and what you produce swing wise to create certain shots, and then saying, all right, now that you know what you can do, go do it?
Yeah, I think there's been quite a lot of actually getting a shape that's consistent.
Yep. Don't mind us.
And then, I and some trust in that. I went from probably hitting draws to hooks at times to trying to work it a bit more left to right with a bit more control, and then there's some trust in that now, which makes a massive difference.
Sure.
Driving accuracy has gone way up in comparison, and the wide ball's gone mainly gone completely because of that. And it just it's like understanding your golf game and understanding what works for you, and having someone a coach that understands that as well has been really good.
And the important part of that from a coaching perspective for me is that not everybody's going to be a left to right. Some people might be the right to left, and that's what their best is, right?
Yeah, there's plenty of that, but it's some guys might play better, as you said, a little bit under. They just feel right a little bit under playing and hit draws. Some guys might feel a little bit over, hit cuts. There's no right swing, wrong swing, any of that. It's just finding out what works for you, and that's the biggest thing as a pro in general. You find out what works for you, whether it's practice routines, whether it's shot shape, whether it's whatever, and just keep doing it.
So that when you stand on that tee and you're coming down the stretch in an event this week, like the New Zealand Open, which is your home open, and I know you'd love to win it.
Certainly.
Absolutely. Or a European Tour event, is you stand on that tee under the pump and you just know what's going to come out. You can commit 100% because you've done the work.
Exactly.
And you know what your go-to, or I call it a hostage shot with a lot of my students, and that if you had your family held hostage, what shot would you hit to hit the fairway? And we've all got one of those, and we just got to know this is our one, and we go ahead and
Yep.
and do it. So now tell us a little bit more about growing up. This is a bit off topic, but growing up as a son of a really quality All Black, and what was that like for you?
Well, it's going to sound weird, but it was normal. Like
Yeah,
it was just
So he was normal dad at
He
home.
was normal dad,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but even the rugby side of things, I didn't know any different, obviously. So it felt quite normal. Very proud of his achievement. Now
Yes.
that when he stopped, I was 6 years old, so I didn't probably have any comprehension of what it was. But now I can look back and appreciate it a lot more. But it was very normal. And now that I'm into sport, obviously, I probably got a lot of benefit out of that. At the top level mentally, the games aren't.
Professionalism.
Sport is not too different, and I probably was introduced to that a lot earlier than most people were, and obviously had a lot of help from Dad at that. He caddied for me a lot, and that still had the old father-son blow-up every now and again, and not listening, blah blah blah. But
what, him not listening?
No, both of us not listening. but I think a lot of what I mentally got was learnt from him. Some of it by osmosis, some of it by actually listening, and some of it just got drilled into me.
Yeah. And at what age did you? Obviously I'm imagining you played some rugby growing up, and I think you did from chatting to you in the past. But at what age did you transition off towards golf?
I was 18 actually when I transitioned to golf.
So you were playing footy up till then?
I played rugby, and cricket was my main sport actually.
Okay.
My mum's dad actually played cricket for New Zealand.
Now I've seen you hit the golf ball, so you T20 hit it out of the ballpark type guy.
Yeah, I did like doing that. I played a lot of tennis as well, and you can imagine how I played that. Try to bash a serve and hit forehand winners the whole time. So golf was sort of my third, almost fourth sport growing up. I was still decent at it. I played off 2 at 16, but it was an average 2. I could shoot 2-3 over around my home course, or 4 over with a pretty tough slope rating, and then put me anywhere else I could barely break 80. But I always enjoyed it, and then after I left school I decided I didn't want to play rugby anymore. Played a year of cricket, didn't like that too much at the men's level, and I'll give tournament golf a crack and absolutely loved it, and now I'm standing here with you.
That's a reasonable decision from where I'm standing.
It was a pretty good decision.
Yeah, and it's very, very exciting. So what does the, what do you think's going to have to be done back into New Zealand Open chatter here? What do you think, if we get good weather this week? The courses look in pretty good nick this year, right? I mean, they always are, but, I thought the greens at Millbrook yesterday were outstanding. We're about to head out here, but it's going to be low numbers again in the 20s maybe.
Yeah, look, it's hard to know. There's definitely less rough than previous years on both the courses. I think they had a lot of dry weather over summer, so the long stuff didn't grow that much, and the greens are probably a little bit softer because we've had a bunch of rain over the last week. Never know. It's a hard one because the golf course is going to play longer, that they're softer as well, which suits.
Someone like you.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Someone like me.
It can play as long as possible. Not that either of them are that long, but I'd expect something around 20 again. Someone goes nuts, maybe early 20s, even mid 20s. But I've also heard the forecast might be for a bit of wind on Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
Maybe quite a lot of wind on Thursday and Friday.
That changes things too.
So you never know, and these golf courses can be really tough to play in
they
the wind.
They can turn in a heartbeat around here too, right? You can feel like you watch the weather just come over the mountain and it just changes.
Yeah, it gets cold, and we've played here in snow squalls.
Yeah.
But obviously both the golf courses are kind of surrounded by mountains, so the wind can bounce off any direction here, and
it's tricky.
It can be a bit of a guess.
So. Yeah, okay, perfect. Oh, well, I wish you all the very, very best, and, as I say to all the guys I've chatted to this year, I hope it's you and me last group Sunday.
Yep, I can live with that.
Would you be okay with that?
I can live with that.
And I can just watch the Ryan Fox show?
I could live with that.
No, I wouldn't do that, you know that, right?
I
compete. I compete as much as possible.
Yep, well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. Mate, I really appreciate you spending some time with me, and I wish you all the best, not only this week, but for the rest of the year on the European Tour and beyond, and look forward to you elevating that world ranking even higher and getting yourself into some of the big stuff and playing some more majors and some WGCs.
Certainly the plan.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm sure you'll do it.
Thanks,
awesome.
buddy.
Thanks,
Cheers.
buddy.